Hello, my brilliant students. Welcome back. Your board exams are just around the corner, and I know you're working so hard. So, to help you out, let's quickly revise one of the most important and scoring chapters, biotechnology and its applications.
Chalo bachcho, let's dive into this. We are going to make this chapter bilkul simple for you. By the end of this, you'll feel like you have a secret superpower for your biology paper. I promise.
So here is our roadmap for today's super fast revision session. We'll quickly look at what biotech is, then DNA fingerprinting, then the really cool stuff like editing genes and making new medicines, and we'll finish up with a quick revision for your exam. Let's get started. First, let's understand what this chapter is all about. Basically, this biotech superpower is about using the code of life, DNA, to solve big problems. I'm talking about everything from catching criminals to curing diseases. It sounds like something from a movie, but it's very, very real. Okay, let's move on to our first big topic, how your unique DNA is like the ultimate ID card. Seriously, it's an ID that you carry in every single cell of your body, and the technology we use to read it is called DNA fingerprinting. So, what's the secret behind DNA fingerprinting? It's something called a VNTR. I know, it sounds a little complicated, but don't worry. Just think of it as a special barcode present in your DNA that nobody else in the whole world has. These are just small parts of your DNA that repeat over and over, and the number of repeats is unique to you. And you know what's really amazing? 99.9% of the DNA of every human being is exactly the same. It's just that tiny 0.1% difference that makes us all unique. And a big part of that difference is in these VNTRs. It's this tiny fraction that holds the key to identifying anyone. How cool is that? Okay, bachcho, exam alert. Pay attention, this is a very, very important board question that often comes up for 3 marks. What are the applications of DNA fingerprinting? Let's see how to write a perfect answer to get full marks. So to get full marks, here are the points you need to write. First, forensic science. For identifying criminals from samples like blood or hair, just like in CID. Second, paternity testing for solving family disputes. You can also mention its use in studying evolution, finding genetic diseases, and maybe one day as a personal ID card for everyone. Just list these points clearly, and those 3 marks are yours. Now for the truly mind-blowing part. So far, we've only talked about reading DNA. But guess what? We can also edit it. Yes, you heard me right. Let's talk about editing the code of life. Now, it's very important to be clear about the difference between these two powerful techniques. On one side, you have GMOs, which means putting a new foreign gene into an organism, like a plant, to give it a new power. And on the other side, you have gene therapy, which is about fixing a faulty gene inside a person's own cells to cure a disease. So GMO is like adding a new feature, while gene therapy is like fixing a bug. So how do they actually create these GM plants? Well, scientists have a very clever helper. They use this special bacterium called Agrobacterium. Think of it like a tiny delivery truck. They load up the new gene they want to insert into this truck, and the bacterium drives it right into the plant cell for them. It's genius! And a famous example you absolutely must know is golden rice. Look here, you can see the normal white rice next to the yellow golden rice. That yellow color comes from vitamin A. Scientists engineered it to solve the huge problem of vitamin A deficiency, which can cause blindness, especially in small children. And here's how gene therapy works. The best way to think of it is like a spell check for our DNA. In this method, doctors can take out a patient's cells, use a harmless virus to deliver the correct gene, the right spelling, and then put the corrected cells back in the body. It's like fixing a mistake right at the source. All right, let's move on and see how this DNA magic is creating life-saving medicines for all of us. This is where you can see the direct impact of biotechnology on our health. How cool is this? I mean, just imagine getting your next vaccine by eating a banana. This is exactly what scientists are working on. They call them edible vaccines. By putting a tiny part of a virus into a plant, eating that plant could make you immune. No more injections in the future. Maybe. Now, for a long time, the lakhs of diabetic patients in India had to use insulin that came from pigs and cows. The problem was, for a lot of people, this animal insulin caused allergies. So the big challenge was, how could we make pure human insulin on a large scale? The breakthrough came when we learned how to make human insulin, called humulin, using bacteria. And this diagram here brilliantly illustrates the main step. Our bodies make insulin with an extra piece in the middle, called the C-peptide, which is then removed. Scientists figured out how to do this in the lab, getting rid of that middle C chain to make perfect, functional human insulin.
Okay, everyone, attention please. This is the final, super quick revision of the most important points. Let's make sure you remember all the key things for your exam.
Make sure you know the definitions of these terms by heart, Butcho. VNTR, that's your unique genetic barcode. Transgenesis, that's creating a GMO. Gene therapy, fixing faulty genes. Recombinant DNA, the technology behind everything. Humulin, the engineered human insulin. And BT cotton, the plant that makes its own insecticide. Got it? So, when it's all said and done, what's the big picture here? The crucial point is that all these complex processes have one simple aim: to make our lives better. Better crops, new medicines, and a cleaner environment. It's all for human welfare. And to finish, a thought for you: with great power comes great responsibility. We now have the power to edit life itself. So we have to ask, what rules, what Lakshman Rekhas should we set for ourselves? Something to think about. All the best for your exams. You are going to do great.